And first tonight, an act of terror on the first day of the new year. A man driving a truck onto Bourbon Street in New Orleans, mowing down people and firing on police. Tonight, at least 15 people are dead. Dozens more are in the hospital. Now, we are looking live at Bourbon Street tonight from EarthCam, and we can see that the scene is still active here. The street, of course, empty, but you do see law enforcement out there, and it looks like they have multiple agencies, state police here, even wildlife agents we could see by the markings on that truck. Empty drink containers and, of course, as well, police tape remain. Tonight, President Joe Biden addressing the nation.
So many people around the world love New Orleans because of its history, its culture, and above all, its people. So I know, while this person committed a terrible assault on the city, the spirit of our New Orleans will never, never, never be defeated. It always will shine forth. We've seen that time and time again throughout its history, and I know we'll see it again in the days and weeks ahead.
And tonight there are more questions than answers, but here is what we do know at this hour. Early morning, Bourbon Street in New Orleans filled with revelers celebrating the new year when it began.
The guy in the pickup truck just punched the gas and mowed over the barricade.
Once past the barricade, investigators say the driver intentionally plowed through pedestrians.
After hitting the crowd, he exited the vehicle and fired upon local law enforcement. Law enforcement returned fire and the subject was pronounced deceased at the scene. An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle.
Investigators found weapons and explosives in the truck. The FBI says those have since been rendered safe.
It was chaos and very, very scary.
The suspect, 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, is a U.S.-born citizen from Texas. Jabbar served in the Army on active duty from 2006 to 2015, and then in the Army Reserves from 2015 to 2020. Court documents show he was stationed at Fort Bragg, now known as Fort Liberty, while he was on active duty. The FBI does not believe Jabbar was acting alone.
We're aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
Tens of thousands are in New Orleans this week for the Sugar Bowl between Notre Dame and Georgia. That game now postponed until Thursday afternoon.
It's just sobering, and you see people in the elevator and you have a hard time even saying Happy New Year. Really puts a sobering face on what should be a great celebration.
Now, following this deadly attack, there have been many questions about the security measures the city had in place. WCNC Charlotte's Nick Sturdivant verifies.
Some people online have claimed the city did not have any barriers in place that could have prevented the suspect's vehicle from driving down the popular street. So let's verify. Our sources: the mayor of New Orleans, the New Orleans police chief, and the New Orleans Department of Public Works. Nearly 10 years ago, the city installed security barriers, or bollards, along parts of Bourbon Street to reduce the risk of vehicle attacks on pedestrians. In a press conference Wednesday, New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell said the city's police department had deemed those bollards inefficient. The mayor adding that the city was in the process of replacing them ahead of the Super Bowl in February. Cantrell said the permanent barriers were not in use on New Year's Eve because the project is still being completed. But the city had temporary barriers and police cruisers in place. So, yes, there were temporary barriers on Bourbon Street at the time of the attack. New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick also said the suspect drove onto the sidewalk and evaded the temporary barriers in place. With your Verify, I'm Nick Sturdivant.
And be sure to stick with WCNC Charlotte as this story develops. We will have the latest on air starting at 5 a.m. You can also watch on your own time on the WCNC Charlotte mobile app.